Welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be looking at the in-space Silver Ranger with his bike. Again, I don't know why they re-brought this out, and I feel like personally when they decided to release this entire line, they wanted to release them all with the bikes so that you would buy the Ranger again. But hey, you know, it was an easy way for people to get this figure if they weren't able to get the Walgreens exclusive or anything like that. So he was a really hard one to find. Anyway, here we go. This is the Ranger itself. You can see the Silver Ranger with his weapon, his bike, and then we've got the kind of like the figure there, which the artwork looks really cool. So it says in space Silver Ranger. And on the back, you get the Zane head, you get the actual Silver Ranger, 2 hands, his weapon, and the bike. Again, don't know why, but this box has seen, or this figure has seen it in quite a bit of damage a little bit. But then we've got the Silver Ranger here. At the top, it just says Power Rangers Lightning Collection, and at the bottom, it just says Power Rangers. Anyway, let's open up this bad boy and have a look inside. And here he is. Here is Zane, the Silver Ranger. Now, I think the first one had a little bit more detail. I feel like he's missing detail on his actual figure itself. I'm not a big fan of this kind of metallic mercury type look. I feel like it's just kind of, it looks weird, like he's an Alex Mack type character. If you remember that show, say you do in the comments. But the way that even, like, looking at the helmet, I feel like they didn't get the paint right. Like, it goes over a lot here, if you can see. And then it kind of, when it gets to the middle, it kind of like thins out, which really is off-putting to me with this figure. Now, he does look okay to some degree, you know, if he's on his bike and this is part of it. So I'm very curious to go back and look at my original review of the Silver Ranger. But to me, this easily could look like something else. Like, looking at the back, I generally feel like this could be the Titanium Ranger for Lightspeed, and that would have been a really cool figure to have. There's not really much to this figure, color-wise. It's majority of it is all silver, but I feel like there is something off with it, and I can't put my finger on it. But looking at the back of the figure, it looks okay. Like, you've got gold around here, kind of going onto the arms a little bit, but it feels like if you moved it that way, there's nothing there. Like, I feel like you should have just painted it all around, because if people are going to pose him, they're going to want to pose him properly. He has butterfly joints, he has gold little parts there, and again, just the green squares on the front. I feel like they should have dots on them, I don't know why. And the belt buckle, they could have easily have made it stand out. It kind of really blends in with the rest of the figure. So again, this is not the best one. I feel like this is a, how do I say, like, this is a discounted Silver Ranger, like, but let's look at the articulation. The boots, like, even the boots, like, I don't know if it's color mismatching, but I don't like it. This is like a cream version and these are white. Like, this hasn't even seen sunlight. This has literally been in the box and that's it. So it's a bit kind of weird. So you have the feet move very like normal. They seem like kind of standard. Like, they don't seem like the others that we have. You can bend the knee like so. Bring them together like that. Move the legs around. Move the legs around there. He does bend a little bit. Move his arms up and down, as you can see here. Kind of move it. His hands move around, like so. And that's particularly it. There's not really much to him whatsoever. Having a look at his head, I feel like it doesn't look like Justin at all. Like, it doesn't look like Zane. It doesn't look like the actual figure. It always looks a little bit off to me. And I don't know why. It looks like he's massively kind of like pissed off for no reason. Now, when trying to add the head onto this figure, it was really hard. It was really struggling, and I feel like it's not even on properly. So I feel like I could pull it off quite easily, and yeah, it's not the best. Like, I much prefer him with his helmet. I feel like his helmet looks so much better, but even to me, like looking on the side, it's just off-putting. Like they haven't done it properly, and it really annoys me. But yeah, like his eyes, don't, like it just doesn't look like him to me, at least to me. But yeah, it's not the best figure out there for this one. I much prefer the original. But yeah, that's really it. So this is one of his weapons. Now I generally really like this weapon. I feel like it's a really cool like blaster. I think this is one of my favorite in-space weapons. I just can't remember the name. So please let me know down below in the comments. The way that they've got the details look really, really nice. And I feel like this is a perfect like a representation of it. Even when it's in blade mode, again, I know it'll have a different name. I really like the translucent blade where it's really a really nice like figure. Again, I think this is one of my favorite weapons from in space. It just looks really, really cool. Obviously you get the head, which again, we don't really like. And obviously the helmet, so I can't remember which one comes with which, as in like which is first. But then we get the 2 hands, open palm and closed fist. I feel like this is the biggest thing that you get, which is the bike. Now, let's have a closer look at the bike. Now, to me, the bike, it's such a fucking pain. Like, when trying to add the kind of the handlebars, I don't know if that's what it's meant to do, like, you know, to turn left, to turn right. But to put it on there, it's really, really frustrating. But the bike isn't too bad. It's okay. I feel like they could have added more paint. It just feels like, oh, here it is, gold, you know, gold, black, and basic silver. This is what I think the silver paint should have been, or the plastic used for the Ranger. That's what it should have been. The tires are made of rubber, which is a really nice touch. And then you can obviously have him sat on the bike if need be. I really think this looks kind of cool. I really like the fact that they've got the logo on the top, the Mega Ranger one. It would have been cool if these lit up, but obviously they won't because there's no light. But you know, obviously they wouldn't sell it, or if they did, it would be a lot higher. Both sides are exactly the same. I don't know if you can see it, which I'll try and focus in, but you've got the kind of like little panels there, which, you know, pretty cool. I don't know if that's exactly what's on there, but it kind of reminds me of Thundercats. And it's very easy to take apart if you want to put it in or out of the box. You just basically pull it off so you can get a better close look on how it all is. I've got to give them credit for putting this sort of stuff in, like these little parts here. Like that's kind of really cool for it. This is what really annoys me about the bike handle, because I feel like it needs to click in rather than anything, but it can move like so, and you can take it off. Just remember that this part goes forward so you can get it, but it's pretty much self-explanatory. The bike also has a little kickstand, which is that one there, which I think is really, really cool. So you can pose it. I don't think you'd be able to pose it without it, because it would just fall. Not unless you did that, but I feel like you wouldn't be able to pose it not unless you had something to hold the tires in. So I'm glad that they included a kickstand. And yeah, let's just say that. And there we go. There is the Silver Space Ranger. And to be fair, he isn't a bad figure if you didn't get the first one, the first release. I feel like this is kind of a way of Hasbro going like, oops, we kind of messed up. Here you go. Here is the Silver Ranger. The bike is a really nice touch, but I feel like if they didn't release him standard, they could have released him with the bike, and that would have been better. So I feel like you're double dipping in this one quite a bit, which can be very, very irritating for collectors. But for what it is, it's not too bad if you're collecting the in space range. I feel like my helmet on this Ranger was off a little bit, and that's what kind of really infuriates me, and I really wish that they were properly checked. The figure is a little bit loose. I'm not a big fan of the silver metallic color. I feel like that's a bit of a issue. But apart from that, it's nice to actually add it to my collection. Hasbro sent me this due to a problem with one of my other figures, so I'm not going to really complain on this one. But yeah, I think that if they were to redo it again, I feel like a better color than metallic, like slime, not metallic slime, but like mercury color that you see in Science. Anyway, in Science. Anyway, I am going to leave it there. What are your thoughts on this figure? Would you get it if you could still get him, or have you got him? Let me know down below in the comments. If you like this sort of content, hit like, favorite, comment, and subscribe. Turn on all notifications. Check out the Patreon as well as the channel memberships, and of course, the merchandise on the store. Thank you for listening and watching, and I'll catch you in the next video. I want to say a big thank you to all my Patreon supporters, and I wanted to shout out Kimona Cat, Kura Stanada. Your help goes a long way to help support the channel, and if you want to help support the channel, the links to my Patreon and channel memberships are listed below in the description.
あらあら、チャンネルをサポートしてくれてありがとうございます。チャンネル登録、高評価お願いします。以下のリンクから商品を入手することができます。